So be sure you know all of that before you ever get involved in any of them. But so I'm really glad you're asking the questions about it. Again, that's on the left-hand side, refer, find and refer. You want to work with that. And when you look at the left-hand side as well, there's other things in here. There's product support. Every now and then I'll see somebody post something in WhatsApp. How do I get in touch with technology or whatever? And that's what this is. It's right here on the left-hand side. Product support will take me over there to where I can actually get some assistance. And it gives you their hours, their phone number if you need to call or text them, whatever you need to do, or you can submit it from right here. If you're having an issue, this is one of the best ways. Or you can always get a hold of myself, for example. I may tell you, hey, you might want to reach out to Remax. In fact, I just told an agent that the other day. You might want to reach out with Remax. I don't know of any reason why this problem would be there. And that's what that does. And I found that they're really good about responding. Then right here on the left-hand side, it says a URL shortener. And I was going to come back to that later, but I'm going to go ahead and do this one right here. And again, this is one of those where some of you've seen this, but the newer agents have not. So I definitely, absolutely want to touch base on it. Let me grab this one more time right here before we go. All right. For those of you that came in a little later, I had asked individuals to throw in the chat which office you're with, so we'd have that information. If you'll please do that, I'd appreciate it. On here, where it says URL shortener, let me show you how this works. This is really, really cool. And this is part of the Max Center. So in my mind, this isn't going anywhere. This is a part of what Remax has set up, right? Yes, we're looking at kvcore and all that. That's a whole different ballgame, but this is ours to work with Max Center. And I highly encourage you to become familiar with this. And here's a couple of reasons why. One is you want to be able to market your properties and you want to be able to track them. And this is one of the ways. There's several ways to do that, but this is one of the ways of doing that. On this screen, for example, I'm going to go to the website. I'm going to go to a website. I'm going to pull up a property. I will pull up a property, just any property. Let's see. Let's just pull up a property, any property. All right, let's just grab this one right here real quick. So I grabbed the property right here at the top where the URL is, right here at the top here. I want to take that URL, I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to come over here to the Remax where we're at. You have the URL shortener in here. And I can go in here and create a link. So here's the link name. Like whatever, right? And I plug that URL in here and go create. So now that's the URL for it. That's the new URL for it. So if I wanted to send that out to somebody, say, here's the web address. Here's a web address you can use for that property. I could use that, but I don't want to do that. I just wanted to get it created so we have it if we need it. And the other thing I'm going to do with it is I'm going to go over here to the right where it says QR code. I'm going to click on that and we'll download a QR code as a ping. Just a minute, I'll throw in the right file so I don't lose it. And now when come on. It's not opening. Anyway, what it'll do is it'll open up into a your QR code for you, right? And one of the things that it'll do is it'll allow you to track that QR code. So here's another way that you can do that. I want to copy that link. And I'll go over to Canva. I'm going to go over to Canva. For those of you that are new at this works really well, because I can go over to Canva, and in Canva, I can create some marketing pieces for that specific property. I'm going to go to a blank one here. So when you go into Canva, if you're a new agent, if you go into Canva and let's say you have a property you want to market, you're a new agent, you don't have any listings, so you don't really have anything, but you talk to some of the other agents that are here, for example, and say, hey, I notice you have this listing. Is it okay if I market it? And they may talk to you about things they want included or not included, or things you can say and not say. All that depends on what the seller has, but you always speak to the agent before you do this. But you can go in here, if you're in Canva, for example, I can go to apps, and in the apps section, there's a QR code right here. And so if I want to create a QR code, the QR code, then right here where it says you enter the URL, I'll post that in and generate the QR code. So that QR code that's on the screen right now, if those of you that's here, if you would please scan that real quick, just scan that QR code. So I can take that QR code and put it in a postcard. I can put it in a business card type of item. I can put it in a flyer. There's a lot of different ways I could advertise this property using that QR code. You know, I can put on there, this property was just listed. To find out more information, scan the QR code. Usually, if I'm going to do that, I'd want to use it probably on something that's like a flyer or a postcard or something. I can use EDDM, that's Every Door Direct Mail, for example. There's all kinds of different ways of using it, but I could use that QR code to help me get that out there. And I created that on Canva, and there's so many different tools in here that you can use. And I'm using the free version of Canva, not the paid version for this, so that you can see it. There's so many different tools that you can do in here with Canva, to include, and I've shown this in classes before as well. If you're in Canva, there's tools in here like here's a marketing piece, and this is put together by NAR actually through RPR, because you can go into RPR, NAR RPR. That's one of the classes we have coming up next week. You can go into RPR, pull out market trends. Here's a median sold price for McAllen, for example, and here's month over month. This is what's going on. For more information, contact, and here's your information. All of that can be done in Canva. And if you're not familiar with this use of this, talk to me about it. Or how to use that particular report. And if you're going to use those items in Canva, what you do is you log into RPR and go to their blog. That's where that's at. And I'll show you that in more detail when we get to the RPR part next week. But if you go to their blog, it's right there at the bottom in RPR. That's where you'll find information on how to do that within Canva. It's a real simple process. All right. So take us back over here to where we were at earlier. We created that QR code that was based on this link. So when I click over here to the side, I'm going to look at link analytics and reporting. And there was several of you that scanned that QR code. So now I get to see the results of that work. Does that make sense? And if I'm sending out a QR code on any of my postcards or flyers, or I'm posting it out there any place, I want to be able to see what kind of results I'm getting out of it. Is it doing me any good or not? And it's better than just sending out a plain item, which is the way we used to do it with a call to action. This has a call to action for the QR code, which is going to drive them to that website for that specific property. And everything we teach in electronics or like ePro and all that for NAR is driving everything to your main site, your website. Or you could have a Facebook business page you're using. That's your main site. Whatever it is, you want it, that's your hub. You want everything you do to drive traffic to that, right? So use the tools that the system has, which in this case, we're talking about the URL shortener, helping us get where we need to be with that. Anybody have any questions on that one? And that's one of the tools I absolutely love. And as an agent, I would use it all the time. Because I used to use QR codes. I used to post QR codes on front doors of repo property and say, for more information, scan this. And then QR codes went away. But because of COVID, they came back and now they're extremely popular and people are used to scanning them. So I would use them on every property personally.
Matt, just a couple of questions over here.
Yes.
Just to kind of reiterate, the profile that they set up, that is what feeds into the remax.com website, correct?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
And when a customer or consumers, whatever, do a search, those agents are just thrown in there at random. There's no rhyme or reason. They're not alphabetical order or anything, right? There's nothing that I could do to push them up further.
Right.
Okay.
As far as I know, that's absolutely true, and it will rotate them around. So you can.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure, because yesterday we had a veteran agent that was very upset because she was at the bottom of the list when she did a search yesterday. She was checking on something and did a search and found herself at the very bottom, and she was really upset. And she thought that there was something that I could change or move her up. And I said that I think is at random. So then when I went in there and did a search, she was up toward the middle, and then someone else did a search. And so I just wanted to make sure that that's how it works.
Yes, ma'am. And most franchise type websites are designed that way so that it stays fair to everybody. Unless so there are some back end systems. There are some, and Booj had that set up actually. There were some back end systems where agents would get the leads. And I don't think with Remax Lead, this was never set up as far as I know. There was a system where you could set up where you got more leads based on certain criteria, but not as far as being found. And when I say get more leads, it was based on a rotational basis, but the broker could have set that up saying these type of leads go to this person, these type of leads go to that. And like I said, as far as I know, that was never ever done based on, because I see the back end of that and I have not, it's not completed that way. But on the random, same thing with the find and refer, sometimes you'll actually see them. You can do a search one time, you'll have this agent at the top. You do a search the next time, and the other agent will come to the top. So, but yeah, I laugh when you say that because I've been there, done that. And I used to actually, there used to be a way to make websites work that way. And there used to be a way to make MLS work that way with Navica. And today you can't do that. Technology's improved considerably. Because I used to do that. I used to go in and force my listings to come to the top every time you did a search. It'd be one of the first ones there, but can't do it anymore. All right, on here with apps, again, if anybody has anything, please jump in.
You can actually modify the short link. The assistant automatically chooses some letters, but you can edit it and put a word. Like I have the rem.ax/S360 buyer G, and I have S360 seller G, like seller guide and buyer guide. You can modify the link to say something in particular.
Yes, you can. I appreciate that. Thanks. And what he's talking about is when you go to the URL shortener and you go to create the link, you can plug the link in here, right? But you also have a link name, and the link name is what could work for you. Is that what you're talking about, Duncan? The link name or the link itself?
The link itself, I was able to modify it. Instead of random letters after the word Remax, you can choose to edit it and have some other words like the buyer guide or seller guide or something.
The only thing I would caution you on that, if you go in to change it, so you see how this one is allowing me to do that. See, it says URL provided is invalid. So it has, my understanding is it has to be set a certain way.
Okay, yeah, we have to follow the last letters,
Right, exactly.
the rem.ax slash, and after the slash, that's where you can change.
Right, yeah. So just, for those of you that are listening to that, if you want to get into that, usually the name is all you need, because what you do is you create a hyperlink to it.
Mhm.
Most of the time, or you, like I said, use the QR code so you can work from there. But that is good info. Thanks, Duncan. All right, so we'll go back here to the Mac Center. When we go back to the Mac Center, we take a look at the app page. But let's start with the dashboard just real quick. When you log into the dashboard, you're gonna have some information on here. And there are so many tools available. So you have to pick and choose what you want. So if you click on apps and tools, the first thing you have is all. And this is everything that's available through the Mac Center. And then you can also break it down. You can say business operations, your network and recruiting. You can say, well, in your case, you're gonna have recruiting, marketing and social media. All of this can be separated out. Or what you can just do is have your favorites. And the way you get your favorites is you just tag that little item there and change it to blue. And it now becomes one of your favorites so that you can work with it. So it makes it real easy to work with. And again, I'm not going to touch base on everything. I want to touch base on a few of the things that are here that you as an agent can use, designed primarily for the newer agents. One of the first things here that I want to touch base on, because of the direction we are going, and that's in reference to kvcore, and we're going to get into these other stages. I think it's either next week or the week after we touch base on PhotoFi and some of the other marketing tools that are in here as well. Like First is an app that if you're not using First as an agent, I would say you probably ought to take a look at it. First, you have to pay for it. That's one of the issues there, and that's why there's some hesitation. But as an agent, I've listened to some of the other agents. Anybody here using that First? Anybody using First? No? Okay. I know Norma has that, but I was going through YouTube looking for First because it was one of the things she wanted incorporated in the new training. And I did First for about 30 days or so, where I had it for free. And then I canceled it because in my phone, what it does is it takes all the information out of your phone and it works off of AI, right? So information from the system, from the internet, et cetera. If somebody was to go to a realtor.com, somebody in your contacts went to realtor.com, for example, you get notified that they're looking for real estate, stuff like that. And so First works really well. There's some really good YouTube videos on how First works. And there's training videos inside Remax as well. But I'm talking about, so the ones within Remax are generally created by the tech team, but I go to YouTube once in a while to get other opinions. Does that make sense? So I'll see where where a broker, there's one where a broker was using it, and he absolutely, in his office, he makes it mandatory for the agents to have First because he's seen the leads that come off of it. It's not mandatory for our company, but you need to probably look at it as an agent because there's a lot of possibilities there. But check it out, make sure it fits what you have going on. So that's one of them that I want to touch base on. And again, that was First is the name of it, and it's right here. It's the house with the one. That's what it is. It's a repeat and referral business is what it's designed to do. Really good tool for you to use as an agent because it'll give you all the information. It tells you everything, everybody that's inside your system. They'll tell you what they have going on as far as real estate goes, if there's any interest. The other part of this, when we look at just the apps, there's one here, building your business with Remax, and that's more so on the management side. So I don't want to tie that up with what you're doing as an agent, but when we click on to learning and education, that's Remax University. There's a variety of courses in here that you can take to include designation courses. if you go in here and you have any questions, you can always shoot me a text or an email, or I'll do what I can to help you with it. But if you take a designation course, let's say ABR, for example, accredited by a rep, if I take that through here, I'll get the designation, but I probably won't get credit for Texas. So I won't get the education credit going to Trek, but I will get the designation. And again, so if you have any questions about that, please ask. I'll do what I can to help with it. When you go in here and you're looking at what you can do, there's the momentum training in here, and then there's Remax technology. Remax technology, when you click on it, allows you to go in and look at all the different technology parts there are within this system that you can use as an agent. There's a marketing portal, which I showed that first day. That's where a lot of our, in the marketing portal, that's where the branding requirements are, what our signs are supposed to look like, what our business cards are supposed to look like. All of that's in there. But you can go in here and take classes. This is a free class on what agents need to know about the marketing portal. So you can go in and learn how that works. And it's real easy to work with, to get into some of these. The other thing is, when we're looking at the technology, let me go back to this one. When we're looking at the technology side of this, there's other information in here that you may not have thought you needed, but you'll see it and want to take it, and that's okay. Most of these are free, but there are some in here that you need to pay to be able to take them. So you'll see it right here where it says free, right? It'll tell you what it is before you ever get into it. Those of you that are fairly new, how many of you have done the Take Flight new agent training? Take Flight new agent training? For those of you that's fairly new? Andrew, awesome, thanks. Did you like it? Did you get anything out of it, Katie? Awesome. Good. Was there any good information in it? Katie, Andrew?
Yeah, sorry. I liked it. I've been going through all of this, the trainings here, Remax University, going through what piques my interest, and then two, like things that we need to do to learn a little bit more about all this stuff. So like the marketing and for example, the marketing stuff, it does have the branding, the workbook on there to you know which colors to use, what fonts to use, things like that. So whenever you make something on Canva, because I've used Canva for the last 4 years for my previous business and a few other things that I've done, and so like having that makes it easy, because then you know what colors to use, you know what fonts to use, you know what you can and can't do, because when it comes to something like this, like a franchise, I know that there's certain things that they want you to use. So that way you yourself don't get in trouble or you have to take it down or something like that. But a lot of things like going through the university here just to figure out different things on the Remax site. It was super helpful to me, because there's a lot of things that we don't know, especially as a new agent on this part. So that I liked it, and I'm still going through a few different things on here. So even if you are like I said, an experienced agent, I feel like everybody has something to learn from on here. I mean, that's what it's there for.
Awesome, thank you very much. So everything that he talked about with this Take Flight, and that's one of the reasons why Norma has asked people to take this class. There's a couple of them in here. Take Flight is one of them. It's going to help you get an understanding of what Remax is about a little bit. That's the idea behind it. You don't find that in a lot of places, and that's the reason we threw it out the very first day, that it's there. Go in and take that, and you find what you like. You take the classes that you like, the classes you think are important. When you get into some of this, and you do the Remax University, they also keep tabs of this, so they can see which classes. on the broker side of this, you can see who's taking which classes, who's doing what with it. And you want to be able to, like, for example, if an agent joins the company and they're not doing anything here and they don't show up to every training session, what's going on? What's the problem, right? So it can be used that way as well. And I go in and look at it once in a while to see what's happening and see who's attending or not attending as well on this. But anyway, know that RE/MAX University is there. There's so much you can do with it. And you can take most of these classes just about any time you want to. You go in and decide what you want to do. And if you don't know for sure what to look for, you can go in here where it has search and try to find something, whatever it is, see if there's a class on it. So I just plug in I plug in Facebook, and here's some classes on Facebook. And Katie Lance is one of our, she's a speaker. She's been at the RE/MAX R4 in Vegas. And in fact, I think Yannette has a book from her. And I follow her on Instagram and some other things, but so all I did was I plugged in Facebook, and you get these items that come up. So you go in here and just do a search and see what's available through this. So you can take any one of these classes anytime you want to. It's a really great system for helping you stay up for your specific way of wanting to do business. All right, and they also have the RE/MAX University app. You can download that so that you can work with it on your phone as well, if you want to go that direction. All right, we're going to go back to the app page real quick. All right. So one of the things I would love for you guys to do, and you don't need to waste your time. I get that. And I don't want to waste your time. So I want to hit just a few blocks, and I'm going to do something that I'd like for you to do real quick. RE/MAX has EDR travel. You can book flights and hotels through them. I've taken a look at them. I don't use them personally, but I don't use travel agent. I haven't used a travel agent since the 80s because I like to look and shop on my own, see what I can find. But I also know there's others that don't like to mess with that. They just rather give it to somebody else. With what I do, that would probably be easier, but it's just the way I'm wired. But know that EDR travel is there. If you ever get a chance to visit the RE/MAX office, the building in Denver, you'll find them up at near the top of the building up there someplace. So that's there. Some of the other tiles that are in here, if you have an idea for technology, you can always share that with RE/MAX. They'll always take a look at what's available, and maybe a different direction. You might bring something up that they can use, which is a good deal. Right here where it says RE/MAX Marketplace. Marketplace is approved suppliers. So if there's anybody that you want to buy something, your everything from your signs to the jacket you're wearing, it's all branded, and these are the key suppliers for those items. Personal market branding. And if you're going to go in and create something, one of the main things there is please remember to follow the guidelines and to make sure you have a call to action. So if you're using an approved vendor for that, then if you're using an approved vendor for it, they're going to know what RE/MAX expects. So that helps, right? So you don't have to guess at it. But all of it's in here. And you can take it from there to work with them. Anybody have any questions on that one? Again, that was just on RE/MAX Marketplace. Luxury. Luxury is luxury collection is for the fancy homes if you will. Like Vicki Leggett has a couple of homes that she just recently listed, and one of them is in McAllen, one of them's in Weslaco. $800,000 home, $700,000 home. They're I think they've been on the market about 7-8 days, something like that, maybe. So that when we started talking about luxury, maybe price doesn't necessarily make it luxury. It's something else. And wow, just a quick plug. At the island, they are doing RSPS. Or RSPS, yeah. Resort Second Property Specialist. Resort Second Property Specialist in South Padre Island. And it's gonna be a live in the classroom class. And they have some instructor named Candy Cook teaching it. I don't know. But yeah, and I say that jokingly because Candy and I started in this together years ago. But she's actually going to be coming down to South Padre Island to teach the class RSPS, Resort Second Property Specialist. It's a real good designation for, especially for that area. For those of you that want to get into that, if you don't have that, there's other ways of doing business. All right, Remax Hustle, we'll touch base on that when we get there. But if you want to go in and play with it beforehand, check it out, become acquainted with what's there. There's all types of items that you can use here, and you decide what you want to do with it. Make a listing video. You can create your own stuff. You want to highlight your skills. This tab right here will allow you to create your own little videos, and they're set up really well. Prior to Remax, I used to use Animoto for some of these things, and this will do the same thing better, actually, right here within the system. Right, so know that that's there, and that again is nothing more than the video and social content editor right there. Any questions on that one? All right, so the last thing I like to touch base on is right here where it says the tab that says website. We're looking at March the 14th for the rollout, right? March the 14th rollout for kvcore. It's going to take a bit. You have the rollout, you have getting it set up, you have getting it organized, all that good stuff. You need to do business between now and then. So here's what we need to do. For those of you that are new, if you have not done this yet, I want you to click on that tab that has website. And I want you to go in here and make sure that you have your TREC, information about brokerage services, completed and uploaded into this. Once you have that, it will allow you to go to publish, right? Let me switch this over before I mess this up. So it'll allow you to go over to publish on this. And I talked about this the first day. And if you have not messed with this, please get in here and get this. It doesn't take very long. You don't hardly have to do anything. In fact, if anybody is willing to log in, any of the new agents was willing to log in, we could do this right here now live. If you want to do that real quick, or anybody that does not have this set up, if you'd like to do this real quick, we can do this so that you can get this uploaded. And get this published. One of the things that we need though is your information about brokerage services has to be in there. So on here, you want to go to website settings. You want to make sure that you have this information checked. You have the newest. I want newest to oldest. You can choose how you want it to do. I have relaxed. You can have restricted. I don't like that personally, but that's up to you. Relaxed means they can look at my website as long as they want to. Restricted means they're only going to get to look at it if you click on that. They can look at one listing, for example, and then they're going to have to fill out an information form. You can set that up here. I don't like those, and I will try to find a way around it rather than play with it. So but that's just me. There's other people that do that and it works really well. What listings do you want featured? That goes on there. So that's your website, your settings. You want to go to the navigation so that you're familiar with it and what's there. You can look at it. Here's the buyer's guide like Duncan was talking about. There's a preview so you can see what that is. And again, that's on navigation pages. You can go to your pages. So on mine, these are the different pages I have in there. I may not be using all of them, but I have pages in there set up specifically for this. There's a versus agent layout, for example. Those are basic ones. And then you may have some other things. For sale by owner is one of mine. For sale by owner properties is one of my tabs that I put in there. And you can do that yourself, right?
How do you start that process again? I'm sorry, I was
It's okay.
out of the screen looking for the to get it started opening up the website.
All right. So if you log into the website, just go to website. Just click on website right there. And what that'll do is it'll open up to the it'll open up to this, and then you just go to your dashboard. That's where you start at. And on the dashboard, upload the information about brokerage services, completed one. So you get that from zip forms or Trek. Save it in Drive, Google Drive, or Box or Dropbox or whatever, and then upload it from there. And then start playing with this. And it within probably about 15-30 minutes, I could have your website up and running with this thing. It's so easy to mess with. At least get it up and going, right? That's all you need to do with it. And then you can fine tune it from there if you wanted to. When we switch over to kvcore, they're going to have websites available there, right? So the key thing is having this up and running so that we can work with it and make that work for you. It's getting you exposure.
Are you gonna be at the luncheon tomorrow?
Luncheon tomorrow? No. Which one you talking about?
I believe the one in Harlingen.
Yeah, I won't be there, Ricky. Tomorrow, no. But
And Matt,
go ahead, Andrew.
so I put my website on here. I did part of it, so you can go ahead. I put it in the chat. I don't know if anybody else has done that. But I already kind of made one. But you can go ahead and click it and see what it looks like.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Awesome. Now, I will, and click on accept. I will tell you that one of the things, and good. Listings by Remax, at that. So on that, when you're setting it up, it'll ask you, do you want to display listings? And obviously that's what you want to do, but you also want to display listings. I would limit them to the office, not necessarily mine, but to the office, because you want to be able to market the brand, right? Not the brand as a whole, but the brand for our office, because that gives you that option, right? So you can you can do Remax general, and that'll cover every Remax in the area, or you can do office, or you can do just yours. And I would do office, and that's exactly the way Andrew has it set up when you look at it. The other thing is here, deciding what you are as an agent. So on he has his Remax Elite up here. You might want to minimize that a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't realize it can't. Well, whenever you expand it, put in the whole, or you go full screen, you can see the whole thing. If it's
All right.
part screen, then it comes out partially.
All right. Awesome. And good write-up. Looks great. Reviews. Remember that we should be asking for reviews. And one of the easiest ways to do that is go to Google, create a quick business page, and take that link that they provide and send that out to people and get some reviews in there. He's got to stay connected in here. Awesome. Good deal. One of the other things when I say decide what you want to be, just as an example, if I go to mine, one of the things that I have set up at the top of it is what's your home worth? Because my focus is as a listing agent. And that's a block you have. So when you're setting these up, you can go in here, right here where it says the block list. So here's a list of the blocks, right? There's the home valuation block. That's this one right here on the right-hand side where it says, what is your home worth? That's it, right? So you can go down here at the bottom where it says add a block. This is how easy this is. And you can click on that and add that in there. You can add a quote. If you wanted to add a quote in there, you can add it in wherever you want it. And I might put something in here from, if it was a quote, I would probably put something motivational type quote in there about home ownership or something about the market might be a good one. But my point is you have that option. You can go in here and do this and set this up whichever way you want to. And if you don't like those items in here, like, okay, I just added a quote, so I'm going to take it out. Or text, I can take that out because I'm not using it. And you have add a block, you can put you want to do a video. Oh my gosh, if you have a little 10-second video, welcome to my webpage, or welcome, right? You could add that in here and get rid of the ones that Remax has. Create your own real quick and throw it in there. And then move that up here at the top instead of using standard. Does that make sense? Everybody? I love the fact that Andrew's already got this going. That is so cool.
And then it would probably help to put, if you're gonna have this picture carousel at the top, to put stuff that's related to where we're at, right? Like our local market.
Yeah, yeah. And so when you say that though, please remember that the best thing to do is take the pictures yourself. And even if they're with even if they're with your phone, if they're you clean them up a little bit maybe, or there might be some ways to do that. But depending on what kind of phone you have. But please don't take somebody else's photos unless you have permission. As you come into Harlingen, if you're coming down 77 into Harlingen, there's a welcome sign there. It's bricks with a Harlingen information there. Years ago, our son had found that picture and used it for some things he was working on. And if somebody else is taking that photo, it could be copywritten. Just telling you from experience, you don't want to mess with that, right? So you might put a lot of effort into something only to be told you have to shut this down if they give you that chance. Sometimes they don't. They just say you owe us this because you were using it, period. And you don't want to get caught up in that. The other thing that's on here that I will throw out while we're working on this is I would highly encourage, if you're a new agent, or if you're an agent trying to change things up a little bit, go get a domain name. Go get a domain name. Because here I can use a domain manager. If I look at Andrews, for example, he's using Remax, which is okay. You can do that. But you're trying to build your business. So you want to market your business. Just like when I go to ours, I have Valley Foreclosure as a domain name I own. And eventually, when we decide to call it quits, I will sell that to somebody. And I guarantee there's people that will buy it. We've bought and sold domains over the years. If you're going to do that, one of the ways you can do it is go to get.realtor. For those of you that didn't get that before, you can go to get.realtor and you can use your name with realtor, or you can use real estate. So I could use Mac sells South Padre Island real estate, or Mac works South Padre Island real estate, whatever I wanted, right? And one of the agents out of Corpus has done that. And what you see on the screen right now is this is her domain. So she went and bought Barry.realtor, and it takes it right to the same website that you were just talking about having, right? But that's her domain name. So if she decides to do something else, that's hers. She can point it wherever she wants it to be. Always, always. Okay. So please put some thought into that. Get that developed, get that up and running. And Andrew, how much time did you actually spend on setting that up? If you don't mind.
Like give or take. I mean, I built websites for my past businesses before and for myself. So this was actually really simple. Give or take about 15 to 30 minutes. It's just if you're nitpicky, things like that, you want to add your own stuff. I mean, it can be done pretty quickly.
Right.
It just takes a day or two for it to actually update and publish. So that way, if you make changes, it probably won't show up for another day or two. And then, but no, for me, it was pretty quick. And if anybody needs help with it, I mean, I'm open to helping do it, especially if you're in our area at the Portisbo office.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I was probably gonna reach out to you after the class.
and
I'm open to it. So
and the same thing for myself. If we don't, I do a lot of company training, but I also teach for the boards and work with the boards, and I'm on the board of directors in McAllen, past president over there. So I have a pretty full schedule. But if you need help with something, say I need help with my website, we can schedule a time where we get together. And I work some ungodly hours because I have to have something to do. Otherwise I'd go nuts, right? So I don't have a problem with that. Andrew, please don't get upset about this. Don't get offended by this, but you need to fix the word realtor. Anytime you use the word realtor, it needs to be in caps, and we need to have the trademark at the end of it.
okay. Well, thanks for letting me know.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. All right. Anybody have anything else? Once again, we were just covering the Remax site. Again, if you're going in here, just messing with it, if you see something you like, click on it to put the blue tab on there so that it becomes your favorite. So you don't have to go looking for it every time. You just go straight to that and you're off and running and you're ready to go. Makes it a little easier. Remax is really good about keeping us up to date as to what's going on. When we get that KV core, just like that Booge website right now, when we're talking about using this website, there's so much that you can do with it, but some of the other things in here don't function the way they're supposed to. We have some agents that have done really well with it. They've made it work, but it was time consuming. KV core, like campaigns, like doing a campaign, setting somebody up on a campaign. That's on here. You could actually have brought all your contacts in. That was the idea behind this. Set your contacts up in here so that you could set them up with a campaign so they get an email from you at least once a month or once a week, whatever it is. You could have done that in this system. At this point, I wouldn't necessarily do that because you want to build on KV core, but you need a place to put your contacts. So if you want to put them in here, do that. At least you have them in a system and we can take it from there because these can be downloaded. And if we need to, we can upload them into KV core with a, what is it called? CXV file or whatever it is, like an Excel spreadsheet. Right. So you can go ahead and put your contacts in here if you want to do that as well. But get that website up and running. Please do that ASAP. All right. Anybody have anything else?
I wanted to
Well,
ask you, where is the link where you can choose the listings from the office? I didn't find it.
Okay. All right. Let me go back to share real quick and I'll show you where that's at. Well, maybe I will. Maybe I won't. There we are. And there was also a question earlier about YouTube. If you go to YouTube, and you go to my account, which is at Mac and Jamie. Where's that? Where's my channel? Oh my gosh, where's all this at? As the disadvantages of using a VPN, I never know what's going to show up sometimes. Add Mac and Janie like that on YouTube. This is where we have I have all the company training that we've done in here, and I'll probably be over the next few days uploading some additional ones in here. I'm trying to play with a video editor on some of this because occasionally in class there's a comment that's made that probably shouldn't be out there. So I've been playing with a few of those. But anyway, that's where that's at. As far as the website goes, let me go back in here, website. We're talking about the which ones you want to show, right? Andrew, do you remember where that's at? Because I'm trying to blank right now.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Do you remember where it had the office listings? Let's see.
That
Featured list.
yeah.
Featured listings where it's at. The I think
You should be able to edit to add your office, your MLS. Let me see. Let me go back in.
oh right here, Duncan. We've got let's see, featured listings. What's highest? Oh, that's not it either.
Because you got to go, you should have the block. You go to the block in which it's under, and then it should tell you there.
So
listings grid.
Maybe it's in pages.
yeah. Where's that featured listings?
So that might, it might pop up on your Mac Center profile. Because there's certain things that are on your Mac Center profile that you can only
There
do
is.
on there, then it transfers over to your website.
Yep, there is, but I thought it was in here. Yep, that must be where it's at then. Let's look. Let's look. On the other one.
Yeah, so it should be in just like your regular profile.
That's right. So you. I don't remember what it was. I just know it's in here. And you say you think it's back in the Mac Center profile?
Yeah, so go to your Mac Center profile,
Okay.
update your account.
Right.
So yeah, your MLS. And then it'll have both of those there. And then whenever, so that has to be updated, that has to be listed. And then when you go back into your website.
Yeah.
Whatever your website's at, let me go back to my website. And then whenever you create an extra little tab, you add the block. You look for your listings, the featured listings. And then if you don't have any listings, it's not going to show.
Right.
It'll show your MLS listings instead. So like myself, I don't have any listings. So it shows the MLS listings. But if you do, then it'll show your listings also.
Do this. Unpublish this. I want to say it's in that featured, and I don't have that page here. For the featured listings. So let's go to,
You can make it a block.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be the easiest way. Everything's just on one.
So this is, okay.
If that's about yours.
Yeah. I thought there was a box in there where you could actually check. Right there, yeah.
Yeah, but then you can also make your page.
Right. All right, Duncan, I'll play with it until I figure that out. All right. To add, Sarah, to add the pages, to add the blocks, you just go to the page you want to work on, or just go to the first page, for example. You can just go there where click on edit. And then you can go, it shows it on the right-hand side as you're working on it. But this is like the first page. If you want multiple pages, you can work on that aspect of it as well. Yeah, see, I don't have any listings, so I think that might be part of the reason why it's not showing anything.
Yeah, I don't have any either, so that's why it shows the,
Office.
yeah, it shows the office of the MLS. So it may be a little different for everybody who has listings.
Right. Duncan, you have yours up?
Sorry, it says what happens if I have no listings to future? In the event that you don't have personal listings to display, the future listings blog will automatically disappear from the page. As soon as you acquire new listings, the blog will become visible again.
Okay. So that's why I don't see it on this side, because I don't have anything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any other questions on this? Right.
I think Sarah had a question.
Yeah, sir. Did you get that?
Yeah, you answered it for me.
Okay.
Thanks.
Mayor,
guys.
it
Yes.
it has nothing to do with the class, but would I be able to reach out to you after this where I can ask you how to do something?
Sure. In fact, if you want to just stay on here, you can do that afterwards.
Okay, I'll stand by.
Okay. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Hope everybody has a good weekend coming up.
Thank you, Mac.